Alright guys, so Fula coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LDBC. So I'm gonna get back into my the groove of things right now. You know, I just had to like really sit back and just get things lined up as far as what direction I want to take the channel. And the bottom line is I want to keep the course I was keeping. I want to make this a sports lifestyle channel, basically. Those are the precise words that I can use for it. This has to be a sports / lifestyle social issue channel. So what I want to talk about, man, and I've been saying this a long time, but I guess I have to reiterate the situation. And I know you Bud fans are going to be hurt. I know you guys are going to be butthurt. You're going to come and comment on this channel because of the reality that your favorite fighter is in. The bottom line is this, man. Errol Spence has options. Terrence Crawford doesn't have options. That's why you hear them right now barking about, oh, we want Spence next and stuff like that. The reality is they don't have anybody else to fight. That's why they're doing all this barking. Okay, and you Bud fans, a lot of you guys are from Nebraska, can say that Errol Spence is ducking, but at the end of the day, the reality of prize fighting as it stands is that as much as we hate these Infinity Stones, grabbing these Infinity Stones does mean something. Grabbing these Infinity Stones is an investment, and you get return on your investment. Sure, you pay sanctioning fees for these Infinity Stones, but at the end of the day, guess what? It means A-side, it means bigger percentages, it means basically you having power to choose the network, more or less so, and it also means more back-end money as well. So you guys can say that Errol Spence is ducking all you want to, man. But at the end of the day, where are all the Infinity Stones at? They're on the PBC side. And that's just it. That's just the reality. Okay? And that's what it comes down to. The bottom line is Terrence Bud Crawford doesn't have anybody else to fight. The bottom line is Terrence Bud Crawford really doesn't have another belt he can unify on his side of town. The bottom line is that Bob Arum wants to control everything that is going on with this man's career. The bottom line is Terrence Bud Crawford doesn't have control of his own career. And that's what it comes down to. Okay? If he had control of his own career, he could get the fights that he wants. And another bottom line is this. Why would you call out Spence when that mountain is one that you're not going to even be able to climb? Why not start with a smaller mountain first and then get Spence? I mean, why not fight someone like a Ugas? Or why not fight someone like I don't know. Why not fight someone that's a step-up fight? Because to be honest, Amir Khan wasn't no step-up fight. And that's just it. Amir Khan was damaged goods. He already got knocked out by Canelo. Got dropped by Samuel Vargas. He was damaged goods. You know damn well that you had no business in the ring with him. So why not fight a step up first instead of talking about, we want Spence and stuff like that. And you know, another thing about that is that Bomac, he needs to shut his mouth, because at the end of the day, he can promote his fighter all he wants to, man. But the bottom line is he doesn't even control his fighter's career. And he has no say in his fighter's career. He's a trainer in his fighter's career. And, you know, I've been saying this over and over again. My trainer even said the goal of boxing, the goal of professional prize fighting is to make as much money as possible and leave it without being permanently damaged. Okay? Errol Spence is doing just that. But at the same time, the more belts he gets, the legacy comes with that. You know, I hate to say it, although these belts are alphabet soup belts for the most part, and that most of the like importance of those belts is basically these sanction fees, they still hold importance. Okay? So, Errol Spence grabbing this WBC Infinity Stone is very, very important. Very much so. So don't hate the man for doing something that a person with common sense would do. At the end of the day, a wise man said, this is what a wise man said. A wise man said that it's always better to take the easier route than the harder route. And I have to agree with that. Now, in certain situations, you have to take the hard route. I agree with that too. But certain situations, meaning like most of the time grassroots operations, you know, when you're building something from the ground up, that's usually the hard route. But if you, like, for example, go with like the easier route of going with something established, then hey, that's how it works. But I want to add something else to this, man, to this video. This past fight, the past fight with Easter and Bartholomew, Errol Spence was already promoting a fighter in his promotional company, Man Down Promotions. He had a fighter on the undercard, okay? Mind you, he's still fighting himself. He's still a professional fighter. What Errol Spence is doing is setting himself up for the future. Okay? He's basically making money and trying to leave the sport without any damage. And that's just it. Terrence Crawford went for the bag. I'm not mad at him. He has family to take care of. He has people to feed. But at the end of the day, if you're sleeping in bed with an old serpent who knows no better and who you can't teach new tricks, don't expect to gain popularity with guys who know what time it is. So my advice for Bud Crawford would be to fight someone like a Kell Brook, basically. That would be a good move for him. Fight someone like a Kell Brook. Fight someone like a Ugas. Ugas beat you in the amateurs. Avenge your loss if you can. You know, at this point, man, I know I hate to sound mean, but at this point, I think the way that Benavidez was touching Bud Crawford, and this is a guy who, mind you, got shot in the leg with Ugas' height. You know, I'm not saying Ugas would win, but I think Ugas would give Bud Crawford a lot of problems, especially if he decides to pull the trigger, because that's what made him not get the decision over Sean Porter, is he didn't pull the trigger enough. But if he decided to pull the trigger against Bud Crawford, he would give Bud Crawford a lot of problems. I mean, the amateurs, of course, is different from the pros, you know. So it would be interesting to see, basically. But yeah, and it may sound like I'm hating on Terrence Crawford, but Terrence Crawford but at the end of the day, Terrence Crawford wrote his own, he cashed the check that was written for him. And yes, he did become unified at 140. He did become undisputed at 140, which is an amazing feat. That is an excellent feat, you know. It's not a common feat. It separates him from the goods to the greats. He's a great fighter. He's a special fighter. But at the end of the day, me personally, I don't like how his team is barking so much. And they're barking and they have no control over that man's career. You know, that's what I dislike. Okay, Bob Arum controls that man's career. Terrence Crawford does not control his career. So, for all you Bud fans out there who think Spence is ducking, Spence is doing what the logical person would do. And that's grab the Infinity Stones that are on his side, that are easier, and the fights are easier to make. And at the end of the day, common sense would tell you, well, if there's a pot of gold within my reach on this side, why wouldn't I take that pot of gold first before going deep under the sea, having to swerve through sharks, barracudas, and stingrays to get the other pot of gold? And that's kind of like what Bob Arum is. I mean, Bob Arum in negotiations are kind of like sharks and stingrays, you know, because he'll do anything in his power to how should I say it, sting you when you're not even expecting it, sting or bite you. That's how he does it, man. So you guys need to like just really wake up, okay? And I'm just going to end this video with this, and this is going to be offensive to a lot of people. But Bob Arum is an Ashkenazi Jew, okay? At the end of the day. Jewish people historically have wanted everything. In fact, a Jewish person even said, I've heard Jewish people say this. They've said, why can't I have everything? You know? I've heard it out of my own mouth. In the neighborhood that I live in right now in California, like maybe I want to say like 15 minutes away, there's nothing but a Jewish neighborhood, and they keep all their money within that neighborhood. They still look for discounts no matter where they go, okay? They try to keep their money basically generational, which I'm not mad at. I am not mad at all, okay? They try to build wealth within themselves, which is commendable, which is a good thing. I compare it to Bob Arum because in Top Rank, he is trying to keep all the wealth into Top Rank, okay? That's what he cares about. He's trying to usurp as much wealth as possible for himself, which you cannot fault. But at the end of the day, you being disrespectful in an attempt to do that, it's really not going to fly. And you need to just like really rethink what you're saying about other negotiators, you know? So for me, you know, I think that since fighters like Errol Spence and other PBC fighters are trying to keep wealth in their circle, that's commendable. And that people like Bob Arum, who have done the same thing, need to realize that the guard has changed and that people are getting hip to game, you know. So with that being said, that's all I got for now. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments. And for all you Bud fans, if you guys get offended, I don't give a care, you know. You guys, as I said before, a lot of you guys are from Nebraska, and that's your hometown hero, basically. And that's just what it comes down to. And I'm not mad at you for supporting your hometown hero, but your hometown hero is in a bind that he can't get out of. And the other person that he wants, the person that he wants to fight, is not in a bind. He's making moves that your hometown hero can't make. It is what it is. That's my way of looking at the situation. And that's all I gotta say. Fuller signing out. Unjaram.